Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to do something that I think everybody loves, and that's pancakes. And yes, you can buy a mix in a box, but that's not the whole point of my cooking series. This is how to take raw ingredients and make your own. Plus, one of the things you need to be careful of is if you do have pancake mix, it has baking powder in it, and baking powder can go bad. And when baking powder turns, you can get very sick from it. So you always want to check and make sure, don't buy huge bags of pancake mix because you're going to want to use it quickly if you go that route. But this way, these are always fresh. They're absolutely delicious. This recipe makes about 8 4 to 5 inch pancakes, which is plenty for 2 people. They're light, they're fluffy, they're crispy around the edges, and they take very few ingredients. So we're going to start, and the first thing I want to do is take 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to melt it in my microwave just till it's liquefied, not super hot, because if you get your butter super hot, it's going to splatter and make a mess in your microwave. So I start at about 20 seconds. Okay, so I've got that going, and into my bowl, I'm going to take just all-purpose flour, and remember, you don't want to just scoop it, you want to take a scoop and scoop into it, and just level that off, okay? So it's 1 cup of flour. And in the comments, I will have a picture of the recipe, so you don't have to memorize all this. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay, I can hear my butter being done. I'm going to take, we're going to have 1 egg. Room temperature is best, but you can take them from the fridge. We're going to have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And salt is important in baking. Baking is a science. So you need to make sure, even though maybe you want to reduce the salt, but you got to have it to have the reaction that you want. Oh gosh, Gorilla put that on. I need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Oops. Had one of my hairs in there. I just need to wear a hair net. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And there is a difference, so don't confuse the two. 1/2 teaspoon. And before I add my wet ingredients, I'm going to give my dry ingredients a bit of a stir. Because you don't want a big clump of baking powder, soda, or salt in your pancake, because that tastes kind of crappy. Okay, let me get my melted butter. Okay, we're going to add that into our, in the background you can hear my little Roomba. Well, it's actually a shark eye I'm growing. My kitchen's being back and it's running over my foot as we speak. Okay, and I'm going to add in, shake my buttermilk. Okay, we need a cup of buttermilk. Now by putting the butter in first and melting it in this cup, it's going to actually let this buttermilk slide out and not stick to the cup, which gives you a true accurate measurement. Okay, we got that. And we're going to crack 1 farm fresh egg. Okay, that's it. That's all you need. And the butter is key. Don't use oil or shortening. It's butter. There's just something about it. I don't know why, but we're going to do a gentle stir, incorporating all those ingredients. You don't want to overbeat your pancake mixture. It's going to be a little bit lumpy because if you overbeat it, they're going to be tough. And we want light and airy. So that's about what it looks like. I've just got a little whisk here that I've done. Just want to make sure we get all that incorporated. Now, what I'm going to do is prep for the cooking part. And while I'm putting all this away and getting ready, that's when your batter will kind of poof and rise. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, one tool that you may not have in your arsenal, but I find very helpful for pancakes, grilled cheese, French toast, that kind of thing, is an electric skillet. This is a very inexpensive one. Walmart, like, I don't know, $15 on sale. You can find them anywhere. It's a good size though, so you can get 4 pancakes at a time. And one of the things when you're cooking that's hardest for people to learn is, how do I get everything to come out warm and hot at the same time? It's a process from practicing. So what I do is I cook 4 at a time, give them to my husband, let him get started, then I put mine on. That way he can eat while it's hot. I don't believe in putting them in the oven and keeping them warm, just because they dry out and they're just not as good. And the best part of these pancakes is, because we use just a little bit of oil on this griddle, even though it's non-stick, you get those little crispy edges, and that's the best part. So my beautiful batter has started to rise. Okay, I'm not going to beat this anymore. Take that out. I have a ladle and I have a big, flat, wide spatula. That is the best for flipping pancakes. But what I'm going to do right now is take a little bit of canola oil, vegetable oil, just a few drops. And I'm going to take my spatula and smear that around my cooking surface. Now I'm going to take my ladle. This is thick. This is not a thin batter. And I want about a half a scoop. And what I'm going to do is put it on there and make it into its pretty round shape. And I'm going to do that 4 times, kind of offsetting them on the griddle. Last time I did this, and I only got 3 for me, which was more than enough, but I was kind of jealous of my husband because he got 4. And 4. And so people say, well, how do you know when to turn a pancake? Well, what you want to do is, we've got ours set at 400, about 375 really. It's going to be hot before you put them on there. You've done your oil, and you're just going to let them cook. And you're not going to peek. You're not going to try and flip them too soon. What you want to see is bubbles come to the top of your pancake, and a little steam coming out of them. Then you can kind of peek, and you can see that the edges are setting. Bubbles are starting to form. I don't want to turn them too soon, because you only want to flip these once. And you just have to be patient. And that's, you know, when God was handing out genes, I did not get the patience genes. Probably why I'm not a mother. You just have to be patient. But, oh, I can smell them. They smell so good. Now, if you want blueberry or banana pancakes, knock yourself out. In that batter, you could have added like the puree of, mush down 1 banana and put that in there. If you wanted blueberries, rinse them. I freeze mine, so rinse them in some warm water so they're thawed, and drop them on top. If you mix them in, you risk, if they're thawed, you risk the batter turning a purpley blue color, which, nothing wrong with the batter, but it's just not as visually appealing. And they say you eat with your eyes first. So you always want to make sure that things are pleasantly appealing. So now I can see this, the wisps of smoke are coming up. I've got bubbles all over. Not quite ready yet. They're still too pale. Don't turn them more than once or they get tough. So you want these light, airy, delicious, but you do not want to walk away, because there is nothing worse than a burnt pancake. Well, I don't know, maybe there is. But for me, if you're gonna eat pancakes, because being a diabetic, you count carbs. And of course, this is very carby. Everything I show you is pretty carby because I don't do them all that often. But today it's a rainy old day, and we're sitting here having a Harry Potter / Star Wars marathon just because we've been working hard. So we're trying to get this done. Now, I see more bubbles. They're getting kind of dry looking on top. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So you're going to slide it right under. Give you a good shove. Flip gently. Slide right under. Flip gently. Slide right under. Flip. You'll get used to it when you take the time to practice. Now look at this beautiful gorgeousness. Okay, so how do you know when the second side's ready? The second side does not take as long as the first side. So I've got a good bit of steam coming up now. And we're gonna give it maybe a minute. Those probably took 2 or 3 minutes on one side and then a minute on the other. And I kind of do it like I do a cake. I just take my little finger. See, it's still wet inside. So you want that middle done. Now they're going to continue to cook when you put them on the plate. But you don't want doughy, raw pancake batter. So I'd rather err on the side of caution. You want that egg in there fully done. But they're poofy, they're crispy, they're just delicious. So now I think, yep, they're brown. Okay, so let me get my pan or my plate. Rick, breakfast is ready. Oh, his breakfast is ready. So I'm gonna sit that down there for him. He can put his own butter and syrup on it. I'm gonna put a little bit more oil on it. I will rub this in with my, and I will start another batch. I hope this encourages you to try homemade pancakes, because once you taste these, you will never go back to mix. They're just delicious. Looks like I'm gonna get 4 today. 4 little pancakes. Now, if you like bacon or sausage, do it in the oven while all this is cooking. Bacon, put on a sheet pan, takes about 22 minutes. And if you start it before you start making your mix, it'll be done. And you will be all set. I'm just getting every little last bit of goodness out of here. Okay. Happy pancake making. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, leave a positive comment in the comments. I will have the recipe, a picture of it. Comes out of my Betty Crocker cookbook that I've had since I was first married, 43 years ago. Okay, love you guys. Be kind. Enjoy. Cook from scratch.